Director, Turkeyen Campus, Dr. Paloma Mohammed, Director and Deputy Director of Tain Campus, distinguished panelists, sponsors, other distinguished guests, students, members of the media, Berbicians, a very good afternoon to you all. As always, it's a pleasure for me to be in Berbice. This is my first time in this particular building, on this campus, so that's even more of a pleasure for me to enjoy these salubrious surroundings. I'm also pleased to have been invited to make some brief remarks, not the main speaker, just brief remarks at this event, the third in a series of talks, Turkeyen and Tain talks. This subject is not one on which I'm an expert, and I suppose that's why I'll be making brief remarks and then sitting down to listen to the real experts discuss farming, profitability, and food security as they present on this topic in general and related to Berbice in particular. What I can say for sure on the subject of farming, profitability, and food security is that there are tremendous opportunities in Berbice for Berbicians when it comes to farming. The other thing I will say is that those opportunities will remain beyond our reach if we do not stretch out and pick them. And one of the things that those of you who are athletes or who just like to stretch your muscles every now and then know about stretching is that stretching is a very uncomfortable thing, and it will take you out of your comfort zone. And sometimes, in order to reach out and to grab something that is desirable, we do need to move beyond our comfort zones. So whether it's farming or any other type of activity, we humans tend to do things in a certain way because this is how we've always done it, and this is how it has always worked for us. And sometimes, even when things stop working for us or are not working that well, we find it difficult to change our approach and explore new ways of doing things. And that's because we're human beings and we are comfortable in our comfort zones. But the reality is that farming is a business, and businesses need to be profitable in order to be sustainable. Farming is also the economic backbone of Berbice. And farming is also a key to something called food security. So farming in Berbice cannot be a hobby or something that we do in our spare time. It is a full-time, serious business that has a role to play in the security and economic development not only of Berbice, but of Guyana on the whole. Probably the most important aspect of any business is having customers who will pay us the money to operate and grow and develop our businesses. It is important to understand that A, not all of these customers are in Berbice. B, not all of these customers are in Guyana. And C, that the global customer base is limitless. And when it comes to farming, the one thing that people all over the world need to do every day is to eat. So we need to stretch out and explore that limitless market. The second most important aspect of any business is having something to sell. In farming, someone has to produce what is sold. And what is produced has to meet the requirements of the customers who we expect to buy it. Otherwise, we have nothing to sell them. Meeting these requirements can take many of us out of our comfort zones. Learning what those requirements are can be time-consuming, and trying to achieve them can be costly. More so when we contemplate the prices that we are forced to take in order to sell in the large quantities that are required. So like most businesses in today's competitive markets, farmers have a tough time. But like all other businesses in Guyana and around the world, we have to overcome the challenges if we want a piece of the action. What's different about farming is that if we don't overcome the challenges, then we risk becoming dependent on others to feed us. And this can make us vulnerable as a nation and less secure as a people. The issue of food security is a global one. And having first ensured that we can feed ourselves, we must then ensure that the CARICOM region, with which we are economically and culturally and historically associated, also has physical and economic access to sufficient, safe, and affordable food. And so our nation relies on our farmers to make farming profitable so that they can continue to farm and continue to feed Guyana and the region and the other countries of the world that are not as well blessed as we are. And Berbice, as I said, is a big player in all of this. And on that score, I was encouraged to see a report on the way up that a company in West Berbice will be exporting 22,000 pounds of farmed tilapia to the United States this year. According to the report, the company has been working with the Ministry of Agriculture for about 2 years to get to this point. And I believe that this is the kind of public-private collaboration that we need to see more of in this country. The ongoing Coconut Awareness Week is another such example. But ladies and gentlemen, this is Agriculture Month, and we have with us the relevant experts and expertise, so I don't need to be talking any longer. So I'd like to thank you very much for your attention, and do enjoy the talks. Thank you.